What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching StrengthAddicts.com. I have another great interview today. We have IFBB Bikini Pro, gym owner, promoter, SKYLAR Lanier. SKYLAR, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very, very well, actually. And so happy that we get to do this interview because, I've been following your career for a long time and you do so many great things in the MPC Mid-Atlantic zone and beyond. So thank you again for taking the time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, a lot of people see you as, this very, very well-dressed, that dress that you wear backstage that I put the pictures. It's not like the only dress you wear, but it's the dress that you wore that time I was there, which is like so like chic. And I hope that's a good adjective. I'm a guy, I don't know anything about fashion, but it's like so cool. They see you as somebody that is very hip, an innovator, and you're doing so many different things. And what's great is that you're doing them so well. It's not like you're spread thin or anything like that. So take us back to your cheerleading background in high school and how it is that you discovered fitness.
Yes. So my cheerleading coach in high school did a NPC competition, and she knew I was overweight and I had no self-esteem, all of that. And I really wanted to change. And she was like, hey, give yourself a reason to lose weight. You'll be my test client. And why don't you try and compete in a NPC bodybuilding show? And I had nothing to lose at that point. So I was just like, okay, why not?
Definitely. And where I was going with that too is like people see you today. And again, they see you like hip, they see you doing all these things, but everybody has a beginning and you discovered it through cheerleading and this great coach. And what's awesome is that you told me that you stayed in touch with this coach and by her getting you involved in fitness, she just so happened to be a competitor also.
Yes. We still stay in touch to this day. I absolutely adore her. She is like an older sister to me. She's taught me so much about life and competing, and she really got me into the sport. And she's the reason why I fell in love with this sport and where I am today.
Very cool. Very cool. So in terms of your amateur career, because a couple of things I want to talk about there, but the first thing is, a lot of ladies do bikini. It is the biggest division of all. We have wellness coming on now and there's figure, but bikini I feel will always be the biggest. And it's very, very competitive. You're 5'3". So you said that you normally compete in class B and class A, B, and C, but especially A and B are just absolutely just huge.
Yes.
So you competed for 4 years, which for an amateur is a respectable amateur career. A lot of people think bikini, you do your first show, you nationally qualify your second or third, and then you're on the national stage. People think that there's like a plan to go in pro in a year or so. And you were doing it for 4 years and you paid your dues. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So, I competed for 4 years and, I'm very blessed that I actually got the chance to compete for 4 years because you learn so much along the way, like what to do better and what not to do, what you like and what you don't like. So it was honestly a very wonderful experience to have been an amateur for 4 years.
Absolutely. And I think too, like what you said there too, when you learn so much and, if God forbid you should ever have a placing that you didn't really like so much, it really, I think, builds a lot of character as opposed to somebody who maybe, had an amateur career of 1 or 2 shows and only saw success.
It really does. It teaches you how to lose properly and not freak out. It is what it is. And you just have to take the feedback you get, really take that to heart and work harder next time to get in that top spot. And it's okay. You don't have to win all the time. It's nice, but you also need to learn how to lose.
Absolutely. Now, while you were competing as an amateur, I know that you have a background in hospitality, bartending and all that. So how were you able to do that? In other words, be in that environment where, I'm sure the food probably wasn't the healthiest, meanwhile staying, in shape for a competition.
So when I set myself to a goal, that's my goal. I'm one determined young lady and nothing will come in my way from getting to that goal. So being around the food and everything, it just wasn't worth it to me. It wasn't worth the little bite here and there. I wanted to accomplish something and nothing was going to get in the way of that.
Did it get to a point, I mean, after competing for so long, did it get to a point where maybe the scent of it or even the visual of it just no longer became a temptation?
Yeah, it's just like I would look at it and I'd just be like, you know what? It's not something I want. Like I don't crave it. I just yeah.
Okay, but I have to ask just because, I have to be that person. What did you crave though while you were in prep? Like especially peak week or, what is it that is it peanut butter, chocolate? What is it?
Hon- Honestly, it's very weird things. Like randomly I'll crave like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with barbecue Fritos in the middle. I've never had that, but it just sounds so good.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And especially if you can't have like a number of different foods. And when would the cravings be worse? Because would it be in the morning or at night? For me, obviously I don't compete, but when I'm dieting, uh, I don't know why nighttime is the worst time. It's like when I just want to binge.
Yeah, nighttime is definitely where I'm like, ooh, I want this, or like, ooh, I'm hungry, I really want that. It's definitely more towards nighttime. I think because we're relaxing and like that's our like downtime. That's when you know we're like, ooh, what can I get my hands into?
No, no, definitely, definitely. So take us then. You've got the 4 years, you're competing, and also what I wanted to say earlier with the whole road to pro of the do your first show and then nationally qualify your second or third, and then you get your pro card. I mean, if folks were able to do that, kudos to them. But I just want to remind folks that the bikini division is extremely competitive. And, again, in the class that Skylar is in, Class B, there's shows where you could be up against 30 or 40 ladies. I mean, there's not a lot of pro cards, so you got to be really really on your game, and a lot of times you might be just like one spot away. So I really like what you said about knowing how to lose, even though I wouldn't call that losing, but it's not winning, and
Hmm.
knowing how to process it and come back better the next time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I competed for a while before I even did a national show. So I didn't do a national show until I was like, you know what, I'm ready this year to go to a national show and see where I stand.
And I think that's very insightful also. And I think it's something that a lot of competitors that are watching this could, take something away from that, because I think, if you set unrealistic goals, if you get on that national stage too soon, it might be like such a blunt reality check that it may actually drive you away from the sport.
Yeah, I mean, even though I did wait, going to nationals, I was like, whoa, this is a whole nother level. And I was like, I don't think I'm actually ready for this. It was just it was a beautiful experience, but I was like, whoa, you know?
And something that you had said off camera also or off air is that this is something that you want to do really for the rest of your life. So you
Yeah,
weren't in any rush. You wanted to do things correctly.
absolutely. I want to do this until my body's like, you know what, it's time to move on. And then I would love to get into judging, honestly. Like anything I can do to stay in this sport and still stay giving back to my community, I want to do.
That's awesome. So talk to us about the 180 that you talked about off camera, the 180 that happened in your amateur career, working with Kimoto, and then the Junior USAs.
Yes. So 2017, I probably had the worst competitive season. I didn't do well. My body wasn't responding at all. It just was like a downward hill. And then I took a break for a bit. And then I finally signed on with Kimoto, which I was ecstatic and so nervous about. And then he just transformed me. He really took me as a caterpillar and made me a butterfly.
I love that. That's awesome. That's so cool. So you get your pro card.
Hmm.
You're all over social media. That's another thing too. Kudos on your social media. You take a lot of time putting out the right stuff. A lot of people try to, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people go the quantity route, not the quality route. And you got to be really careful what you put out. Not because there's any dire consequences, but you want to
Yeah.
carefully create your social media so that you really attract the right people.
Hmm. And the one thing that like I really want to do with my social media is inspire people. Like it may be hard once you get started, but it is so worth the journey.
Definitely, definitely. So speaking of that journey and sort of moving away from competition, You compete also as a pro, and you had a great, great amateur run. But you also own a gym with your husband, Jason, the
Yes.
Shop Gym, which is iconic. Unfortunately closed right now because of the whole COVID-19 thing. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, but more so about the gym itself, and you've described it really as a safe space, which I really like. If you want to explain more about that.
Yeah, so we have the one benefit about, being here every day is I get to talk to a lot of our members and get to know them personally. And for a lot of people, this gym is their safe haven. It helps them battle addiction, depression, PTSD, anxiety. It just is a place for them to come and just relax. And it's really unfortunate that, we can't be that for them right now.
It's really sad too, because, I don't know how long we've been going now, but like 2 months, 3 months, I've actually lost count, and I'm scared because I'm like, is this the new reality? And I'm hoping it's not.
Yeah.
You said also that the governor in Virginia is supposed to speak today, so hopefully it's something good. And in Ohio, they actually did a petition, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think anything was going to come of it, but apparently now the gyms are open, and sometimes the governors and like these like elected officials need to realize that, look, gyms are not just, and there's nothing wrong with going there just to lift. They're
Yeah.
more than that. Like you said, they're more than that. And we're going to talk about Gary in a little bit, Gary Udit, but one of the things that Gary really focuses on is customer service, and you going above and beyond, getting to know your members is customer service. That's fantastic.
Thank you. They're what makes us possible. And also we get a lot of their opinions about what they want in the gym. So a lot of the things we have is, going around and talking like, hey, what pieces would you love? Like, have you been to other gyms and you've used a certain piece that we don't have and you really liked it? Like, we truly value their opinion.
Absolutely. And it's a fantastic facility. I mean, it's multi-level. You've got that great posing room upstairs where I covered the So You Want to Compete seminar. You've got just amazing space. I love this space because a lot of gyms, you feel like you're in a sardine can, and it's super, super clean. That's why it's so ironic that it's closed. It's one of the cleanest gyms I've ever been to, but hopefully it'll open soon. No, definitely. And I know you want to send out a shout out to the members, because a lot of the members are, continuing to pay dues. They're insisting upon it because of everything that's going on.
Yes. We just have the most amazing members. Like, I can't thank them enough for still being like, hey, actually update my card, because I still want to pay, the membership. So you guys are there when we come back. And we've had a lot of people reach out saying, hey, can I just join your gym so you guys don't close, so you can be open when all this is over? And it's truly, it warms my heart that people love this place that much.
Definitely. That's so important too, and just recently I wrote an article about Gold's Gym International and how the corporate office there filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. That doesn't mean that they're going out of business, but it just means that they're, you got all these creditors, and they're all, pounding on the door, and they're like, pay us. And they're like, well, we're closed. They still want to get paid. So I think it's great.
Exactly.
Yeah. That there's members that, do that, and that there's members that continue to join because it really shows support, and it is a home. It is, I don't want to say that a gym is not like something special because it has weights, but it's so much more than that. Like you said, people with PTSD, people that have made transformations, and even people like, I've noticed a lot of people that work 9-to-5 jobs and they hate those jobs, but they go to the gym, and that makes the life, bearable and enjoyable. So it's very, very important. The other thing that you do, so you're a gym co-owner with Jason, you're a pro athlete in the IFBB Pro League, but you're also now, and I say now, but actually for quite a while now, a NPC co-promoter with Jason and Gary Udit. So tell us about the show that you had and the new show that you're going to have.
Yes. So we co-promoted the 2019 NPC Hercules Classic with Gary last year, and I couldn't have asked for a better show. It was just really cool to be able to create something and it be so geared towards what the athletes want. Like, we had the LED mirrors backstage. We had microwaves, which you don't see at shows. We had a car bar for people just in case, because when you have a prep brain, you forget things. We had the donut bar and dessert bar and that big, amazing setup on stage. And I think that really did it in for a lot of the experience for the competitors.
I was actually drawing that over here. The donut, I had like a table, and I had little donuts there so I wouldn't forget, but that looks so cool. And I wanted to cover that show. I had another commitment, but I'm hoping that I'll cover your show in the future. But that commitment to customer service, you know, the NPC is the greatest. I love the NPC. I'm always
Yes.
putting NPC strong. But within the NPC, the Mid-Atlantic Zone, I know we're not supposed to, but like the Mid-Atlantic Zone is it. I mean, customer service, and I always hear it. And I've had to edit so many interviews that you can't say that because they're like, we love the Mid-Atlantic Zone above all else. And sometimes they elaborate more, and I'm not going to elaborate here. But it's just, again, it's the customer service at the shows, at the shop gym. That really, really is a huge deciding factor. It makes people happy to come back. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important. You know, I've seen people at shows, it's like they're at home. I mean, that's how at home they feel. You know what I mean? That's how it should be, you know?
Absolutely. And like Jason and I both come from the service background. So we're really, really, really put the, you know, attentive to detail in what competitors want. And we've asked before, I mean, I drag Jason to every IFBB show there is that I go to. And, you know, and also he's been with me through my NPC journey. And it was really like, what would the athletes want? And we're all about quality and not quantity. So we really wanted to give the best experience possible to the competitors that came to our show.
Absolutely. And that's Gary's whole mantra is customer service.
Absolutely.
From the check-ins to the host hotel, you know, to you know, expeditious prejudging, and a lot of Gary shows too have those 2 p.m. finals, which people love because, you know, they want to have a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like some shows I've been to shows that get out at 1 a.m. on a Saturday. It's like these, and could you imagine if you're like, you know, the significant other or the friends or family of the competitor in the last division, you're like, your Saturday's gone, you know what I mean? So customer service is fantastic. So I really, really want to thank you for having done this interview. I want to ask you for all of your social media links and any shout outs that you want to send.
I just want to say, you know, a big shout out to the bodybuilding community for doing all these webinars and, you know, lives and all that stuff. It really keeps our community together. And I think that's so important during this time because a lot of us, you know, are still holding on to hope with the shows and, you know, we're falling into a bit of a rut. So I feel like it's a big shout out to our community for still staying strong and staying together.
Absolutely. And where can friends and fans follow you on social media?
So you can follow me on Instagram at SKYLAR LANIER _IFBB Pro. And on Facebook, it's just SKYLAR LANIER.
So thank you very, very much for IFBB Pro, contest promoter, and gym owner, SKYLAR LANIER, Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com.